Hello there, good evening. You're watching News at 10. I'm Cynthia Arthur. Datuk Seri Ahmad Faizal Azumu resigned today as the Menteri Besar of Perak along with the state executive councillors. Datuk Seri Ahmad Faizal, who lost a confidence vote in the State Legislative Assembly yesterday, said he presented the resignation letters to the Sultan of Perak, Sultan Nazrin Shah, at an audience with His Royal Highness at 3 p.m. today at Istana Kinta.
Saya telah pun menyampaikan surat peletakan jawatan saya kepada Yang Amat Mulia Perdana Sri Sultan dan pejabat tuanku akan tentukan perkara berkenaan. Tapi saya telah sembahkan surat peletakan jawatan saya. According to the Constitution, apabila seorang Menteri Besar letak jawatan, semua ahli Majlis Mesyuarat Kerajaan Negeri juga telah telah gugur daripada jawatan.
He said this at the old residence of the Perak Menteri Besar today. He added that Sultan Nazrin will determine the effective date of his resignation as Perak Menteri Besar. However, at the end of the press conference, Datuk Seri Ahmad Faizal, who is also Tambun MP, added mysteriously, "We will meet again, maybe at Seri Satria," relating to the official residence of the Deputy Prime Minister. Datuk Seri Ahmad Faizal had met the state ruler the second time, the first meeting being yesterday. This is also the second time Datuk Seri Ahmad Faizal has resigned as the Perak Menteri Besar, with the first one being in March after the change of the state government. He was then reappointed as the Menteri under the Perikatan Nasional Government. Datuk Seri Ahmad Faizal, who is the Assemblyman for Chenderiang, lost a confidence vote in the 59-seat State Legislative Assembly yesterday. He garnered 10 votes, of which 48 Assemblymen voted against him and 1 abstained. The motion was brought by Barisan Nasional Assemblyman for Pengkalan Baru, Dato' Abdul Manap Hashim. Meanwhile, Sultan Nazrin Shah has ordered political parties in the state to find the best formula to form a new state government. Perak Dewan Negara member Datuk Seri Muhammad Anwar Zaini said this was conveyed by Sultan of Perak during an audience by leaders of several political parties today.
Segala pandangan itu didengari, tetapi bukanlah tanggungjawab untuk Sultan campur tangan dalam urusan masing-masing parti, dan Sultan hanya boleh menasihatkan carilah formula terbaik untuk menubuhkan kerajaan dan pimpinan baru di negeri Perak.
The political party leaders that had an audience with Sultan Nazrin are Perak DAP Chairman Ngakor Ming, Perak PKR Chairman Farash Wafa Salvador Rizal Mubarak, Perak Amanah Chairman Dato' Asmuni Awi, and Perak UMNO Liaison Chairman Dato' Sarani Muhammad. UMNO President Dato' Sri Dr. Ahmad Zaid Hamidi is scheduled to have an audience with Sultan Nazrin at Istana Kinta tomorrow. The Perak Assembly consists of 25 BN Assemblymen from UMNO, 16 DAP, 5 Bersatu Assemblymen, 5 Amanah, 3 each from PKR and PAS, and 1 each from Gerakan and Independent. The Perak political crisis involving caretaker Menteri Besar Datuk Seri Ahmad Faizal is a local problem and not a national issue. Barisan Nasional Secretary General Tan Sri Anwar Musa said, in effect, the issue had not been discussed formally either by the Central BN Political Bureau or even the UMNO Supreme Council. Nevertheless, he said the Perak political crisis needs to be handled well by the Perikatan Nasional PN government so as to not cause further instability and division.
Kita sedang membuat konsultasi lah. Hari ini pun Presiden UMNO turun ke Perak untuk berjumpa dengan Badan Perhubungan UMNO negeri Perak, dan untuk mendapatkan feedback dan juga status terkini lah. Jadi tak banyak yang dapat saya komen. Cuma kita berharap supaya apa yang berlaku itu dapat kita sama-sama tangani dengan baik, supaya keadaan tidak menimbulkan ketidakstabilan, tidak menimbulkan perpecahan yang lebih lanjut, ya.
Speaking after attending the My Food at Wilayah program at the Kerinci People's Housing Project, PPR, in Lembah Pantai today, he stressed that leaders from each party should sit down and discuss as a family to ensure that the spirit of consensus and PN coalition remains strong in the state. Tan Sri Anwar said UMNO President Datuk Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi would seek the latest feedback and updates from the state UMNO liaison body. Tan Sri Anwar said it was better for PN leaders not to make too much statements on the matter so as to not cause confusion among the people. At the event, Tan Sri Anwar, who is also Federal Territories Minister, handed over food aid worth 50 ringgit each to 706 recipients. Sabah UMNO will not turn against the parties in Gabungan Rakyat Sabah GRS. Sabah Deputy Chief Minister Datuk Seri Bung Mokhtar Radin, who is also the State UMNO Liaison Committee Chairman, said the same stand should be shared by party members in the coalition. Datuk Seri Bung said this is important because the cooperation had enabled GRS to form the state government in last Sabah state election. He also asked all party leaders in the coalition to fully support Chief Minister Datuk Seri Panglima Hajiji Noor's leadership.
Walau bagaimanapun, apa yang berlaku di Perak itu adalah sentimen politik Perak. Kita di Sabah, kita mempunyai sentimen kita sendiri. Kita ini sentimental. Kita utamakan kepentingan rakyat. Yang penting, apa yang kita harapkan pemimpin-pemimpin di negeri Sabah ini memahami antara satu dengan yang lain.
On another note, Datuk Seri Bung Mokhtar said Sabah UMNO had decided not to contest in the Bugaya State by-election scheduled for 16th January following the death of its incumbent, the late Datin Manis Muka Muhammad Darah from Parti Warisan Sabah. The government has decided to allow movements across states and districts nationwide without requiring police permit, except in areas still placed under Enhanced Movement Control Order (EMCO). According to Senior Minister for Security, Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob, this restriction will be removed effective Monday. He also said that the country is expected to suffer a GDP loss of 300 million ringgit a day if CMCO is continued, and this will result in a decline in the labour market and household spending, investment uncertainty, permanent job loss, business closure and other effects either directly or indirectly.
Sidang MKN ya, dan telah berbincang dengan semua termasuk ada Kementerian Kesihatan dan sebagainya. Antaranya ialah bersetuju supaya rentas negeri, rentas daerah dan rentas negeri dibenarkan di seluruh negara kecuali di kawasan PKPD. Yang lain kita benarkan berlaku rentas daerah. Ya, rentas daerah dibenarkan tanpa kebenaran daripada pihak polis lagi. Mulai daripada 7 hari bulan, pihak polis tidak lagi mengadakan sekatan-sekatan jalan raya. Tetapi arahan kepada pihak polis, walaupun tiada sekatan jalan raya, tetapi memfokuskan kepada pematuhan SOP.
Furthermore, Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri said the government has also lifted the passenger limitation per vehicle at a time. All vehicles are now allowed to carry the number of passengers according to their physically possible capacity from Monday. In a related development, the senior minister said the Conditional Movement Control Order CMCO in Kuala Lumpur has been extended until 20th December. Meanwhile, in Selangor, the CMCO has also been extended to 20th December, except for Sabak Bernam, Hulu Selangor and Kuala Selangor.
KKM mengesahkan masih terdapat peningkatan kes COVID positif yang ketara daripada beberapa kluster yang melibatkan wilayah ini. Oleh itu, atas nasihat KKM, maka sidang khas bersetuju agar PKPB di wilayah Persekutuan Kuala Lumpur dilanjutkan lagi mulai 7 Disember sehingga 20 Disember 2020.
He, however, said the CMCO will end tomorrow in Putrajaya, Labuan, Penang, except in certain areas, Perak, except in certain areas, Kelantan, except in 4 districts, and Negeri Sembilan, except in Seremban and Port Dickson. He added that states and locations where the CMCO will be lifted tomorrow will return to being under the RMCO. Dato Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said CMCO in Sabah has also been extended for another 2 weeks until 20th December.
Secara kumulatif sehingga 3 Disember 2020, sebanyak 29,577 kes positif COVID-19 direkodkan di seluruh negeri Sabah. KKM turut mengesahkan masih terdapat peningkatan kes positif COVID-19 di beberapa daerah di seluruh negeri Sabah.
He added that the Enhanced Movement Control Order EMCO at K Avenue, Megacity in Penampang, which was enforced on the 22nd November, ended today, but the area would still be subjected to CMCO SOPs. Malaysia today registered a total of 1,123 new COVID-19 positive cases, taking the cumulative tally to 71,359 cases. Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah, in a statement today, said Sabah recorded the highest number of cases with 391 cases. Elaborating further, Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham said Kuala Lumpur logged 256 cases, followed by Selangor with 221 new infections. He said the number of active cases with infectivity potential now was 10,775, while 1,143 recoveries were recorded today, taking the cumulative total of recovered cases to 60,204. A total of 130 cases are currently being treated in the intensive care unit, with 54 in need of respiratory assistance. The Health DG also reported 4 new deaths related to COVID-19 today, taking the death toll in the country to 380. Meanwhile, the Health Ministry has detected 4 new COVID-19 clusters as of noon today. They are the Batu Tiga and Jalan Domis clusters in Sabah, the Andalas cluster in Selangor, and the Bulatan construction site cluster in Kuala Lumpur. Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham said the index case for the Batu Tiga cluster in the Tawau district was detected on 17th November, adding that the cluster has a total of 28 positive cases so far. For the Jalan Domis cluster in Penampang, Kota Kinabalu and Tonggod in Sabah, the index case was identified on the 29th November as a result of close contact screening. A total of 132 individuals linked to this cluster have been screened so far, of which 12 cases tested positive for COVID-19. Meanwhile, the Andalas cluster in Klang, Selangor was discovered after an individual tested positive on the 3rd of December. To date, a total of 43 people have been screened, with 16 testing positive. For the Bulatan construction site cluster, the index case was reported on 2nd December as a result of screening before going abroad. And to date, a total of 163 cases have tested positive for COVID-19. 5 clusters have ended today, namely the Forest Cluster, Aero Cluster, Sungai Way Cluster, Baki Cluster and Seladah Cluster. A 52-year-old man was found dead at Dataran Austin in Kuala Nerus at noon today. Kuala Terengganu District Police Chief ACP Abdul Rahim Maddin, when contacted, said they received a call from a member of the public on the incident at 12:30 p.m. A witness said the man, who was a beggar, was waiting outside a bank before he suddenly collapsed. An examination by a medical team dispatched to the scene found that the man had died. The body was sent to Sultanah Nur Zahira Hospital for post-mortem. ACP Abdul Rahim, when contacted, confirmed the incident. He said the case was classified as sudden death. Following the discovery of a body in Sungai Ketil, Baling Kedah, a man was detained to facilitate police investigations. The suspect, who is in his 40s, was arrested in Kuala Ketil yesterday. Assistant Registrar of the Sungai Petani Court has issued a 7-day remand order against the suspect beginning today. Yesterday, police found the body of a man reported missing since Wednesday floating on Sungai Ketil, about 1 kilometre from the nearest town. Baling Police Chief Superintendent Syed Basri Syed Ali yesterday said the deceased was identified as G. Sivaguru, a 32-year-old trader. Upon inspection, police found a slash wound on the victim's neck, which indicated the possibility that he was murdered. Coming up, younger generation urged to go into technical fields for better prospects. The younger generation should be encouraged to venture into more technical fields, especially engineering. According to Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, the use of latest cutting-edge technology can alter the common perception of these jobs, which have been described as 3D or dirty, difficult and dangerous, into a more prestigious image. This is because these professions require a high degree of knowledge and in-depth expertise. The Premier further explained that these fields have brighter job market potential with higher returns.
Di peringkat yang lebih awal, para pelajar sekolah dan belia perlu digalakkan untuk menjadikan bidang-bidang ini sebagai pilihan kerjaya masa depan mereka, bukan sahaja demi memenuhi keperluan masa depan perindustrian negara, tetapi untuk melahirkan golongan profesion teknikal yang berdaya maju, selari dengan perkembangan global, terutamanya ledakan teknologi IR 4.0, peluang pekerjaan yang ditawarkan berkaitan jurusan STEM dan TVET sememangnya adalah amat cerah dan tidak seharusnya dilepaskan.
In a special announcement in conjunction with the Technical Profession Day HPTN 2020 celebration themed The Future is Us, Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin said the government will work to strengthen the quality of science, technology, engineering and mathematics or STEM graduates, as well as technical and vocational education and training TVET. HPTN is celebrated on the first Saturday of every December as a sign of appreciation and recognition to the members of technical professions in Malaysia. The Ministry of Education, MOE, is still discussing the possibility to discontinue the Ujian Pencapaian Sekolah Rendah UPSR in the future. According to Deputy Education Minister Wan Muslimin Yahya, an alternative platform to assess students should be created to replace the examination, which is the pentaksiran sepanjang masa. He further explained that the assessment will be used by the ministry to allow the students to choose for intakes into Form 1 of boarding schools SBP, Maktab Rendah Sains Mara MRSM and other similar schools. The assessment will involve qualification tests, written tests as well as interviews, with this year being the first trial following the COVID-19 pandemic causing the cancellation of UPSR and Pentaksiran Tingkatan 3 PT3.
Dia sebenarnya UPSR ni adalah satu penilaian. Dia bukannya peperiksaan awam, kan. Dan bila kita ubah kepada pentaksiran pun elemen dia tetap sama. Elemen tak sama, cuma mereka tidak menduduki ujian itu. Tapi segala elemen-elemen itu tetap sama. Dan dia sama juga dalam proses penilaian. Pentaksiran dia dalam proses berterusan sepanjang masa. Dan kalau ikut dalam suasana sekarang ni, pentaksiran itu lebih genuine. Kan kita akan melihat stage ataupun setiap tata tingkat tu daripada awal sampai ke akhir. Setakat inilah daripada kementerian yang kita tak ada pilihan. Pilihan kita yang ada itulah dalam keadaan pandemik ni.
11 telecommunication towers along the road from Jalan Sungai Koyan up to Lembah Bertam Cameron Highlands have been upgraded from using very small aperture terminal VSAT technology to 4G fiber optic network. According to a media statement by the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission MCMC, 9 of the towers located in the Post Manson area have completed construction in October 2019 and were upgraded on 5th November this year. On 4th December, MCMC has met with a representative of POS Manson to obtain feedback on the quality of services after the improvement. Furthermore, constructive feedback is also requested and acquired in the neighbouring villages. The coverage improvement and service upgrade to 4G in the Cameron Highland area were conducted in accordance with the National Digital Network Jendela Plan. Telecommunications infrastructure in Orang Asli settlements are constantly improved and maintained by MCMC to ensure that the Orang Asli society, especially their younger generation, do not miss out on the digital era advancements. At 10, in our top story, Datuk Seri Ahmad Faizal resigns as Perak Menteri Besar. Join us again at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. I'm Cynthia Arthur. Stay tuned to saluran berita RTM and have a pleasant evening.